back with the 96 Suzuki 600 Bandit. I finally got the gas top off of the tank after almost breaking the key off in the gas top to get it open. And tank's not too bad. It's got some surface rust in there. It's kind of hard to see down in there. There we go. Got a little surface rust in there. Not bad at all. Probably can just rinse it out with some gas. I got the seat loose. Discovered that something's been in here chewing on the wires going to the ECU, so we're gonna have to repair these. Probably a squirrel. It's like some acorns and stuff in here. It's yanking on the wires there. So it's set outside. I think it might have set outside the bike shop after sitting in the shop for a while. I did reach out to the guy at the bike shop, and he said that it wasn't brought in for carburetors. It was brought in for something else. He said it's probably going to need the carburetors cleaned since it's been sitting up so long. So I don't know. He said he really don't remember. It was there so long. So we'll just have to dig into it and figure out what's wrong with it. But got the gas tank loose here. Typical 4-cylinder, 4 carbs. I don't know what's in the airbox. That's a mystery. By the looks of this, I hope it's nothing bad in there. I did pick up a new battery because I went up there. So we got a new battery for it. Parts Unlimited. 51 bucks. So it's one of those maintenance free batteries. That's what he said, but it's not. You actually have to put the acid in it. He said it was a maintenance free, but it's not. So we'll put the acid in and get that charged up. So I guess first thing we need to do with it is I guess repair these wires, get these hooked back up correctly. Need to get this top off this airbox before we even try and crank it and see what's in there. It's probably air filters, a nest, and then the gas tank, it has one of those vacuum style petcocks. I don't know what that is rolling around in there. I gotta figure that out. So we might can hook the vacuum pump to this petcock and pour a little gas in it and pump it up and see does gas come out. Then we'll know that's working. I did find out what the oil leak was. If you've seen the first video when it was on the trailer, it was actually the oil filter was loose and it was leaking oil. So I tightened it up. It hadn't leaked a drop since. But so let's go ahead and get these wires fixed, and we'll get this airbox open. We'll get the battery in it, and man, it was yanking on that hard. See this thing spin over. Hopefully the motor's not locked up, and we'll go from there with it. So I'm going to get some tools together, some wire connectors, and let's fix those wires. Alright, so let's go ahead and take this airbox lid off. fixed the wires going to the ECU also. It'll make it easy to get to. I don't think it's nothing in there. I think it's just a screen filter. But can't get the top off. Might take the side cover off. I don't see anything in there though. It's just a paper filter in there. Don't see anything. Okay. Yeah. We got some poop in there, that's one thing. Yuck. Look at that. We got poop. Something's been chilling out in there. Oh yeah, that filter. Look at that. See, we've been chilling out in there. So that's definitely done. Got to get an air filter for it. And that's really it. It's just a screen in there. So good thing these bikes have screens inside of the airbox. Keep the rodents from getting into inside of the carburetors and inside of the engine. So we'll get a new air filter for it. Like I said, I got the wires repaired, not the best repair, but now we can stick a battery in it, at least see does it turn over. I think the battery might be charged up good enough. We can at least see what it's going to do. So let me go grab it fast. Air conditioner's so loud. Let's get some screws in here. At least we can see if the motor's if the motor is not locked. He said the bike came in for something else other than just the carburetor, so I don't know. Just like everything else you buy it from different people or bike shops or something. This cable was ran wrong. It actually needs to come around the side cover and back up. Get it. Yeah, there we go. Ah! Dropped the doggone screw. I can get it with the needle nose. Well, they sure don't make these screws long enough, do they? Make sure the key off. I think it might be not too good for the washer. Get a magnet. There we go. And a leaf with it. Magnet leaf. Alright. Usually you drop these little battery nuts trying to put the battery in. Oh, got some kind of sparkage. Ooh. Oh. Let's see why. I'm such a klutz. Got the battery in backwards. Maybe that's why the wires didn't want to reach. Now we probably fried everything on it. Look what kind of sparkage we got going on there. You guys are probably like, you idiot. You hooked the battery up backwards. That's why the wires wasn't right. We'll get it together. Okay, now we don't have sparkage. I was like, oh no. Something ain't right. Alright, battery's finally hooked up. You know, that took 3 business days. Alright. Let's see what lights up on this dude. Finally. See what it's spinning over. It's got oil in it. Got headlight, horn. Spins over. I don't know if we got any spark. Guess we can check that right fast. See if we got any spark at the spark plug. We got spark. That means we get fuel. That means vroom. Get a better plug than that. Any old spark plug will do. Alright, let's see if we got any spark. Yeah, we got spark. It's kind of hard to see it. But we do got spark. I could barely see it. Just because it's so bright in here. Yeah, we got spark. Kind of spins over kind of fast, doesn't it? So next we'll have to get some fuel to it and see, does this thing run? We'll take the plugs out, check those and make sure they're not all goobered up, but it does got spark. Look like we got lights. Got one front turn signal. And so we got a turn signal out on the back left. I like the way that tail light looks. Yeah, we need might have a chewed wire or something back there. High beam, low beam, horn. You gotta hold the clutch in and turn it over. So anyway, let me get the gas tank situated too. We'll pull the plugs, check them, make sure they're not all foul. We'll dump a little oil down in the cylinder before we really crank it up. I just wanted to make sure the motor wasn't locked up. And hopefully this thing will fire up and run and see what problem that it had, that it's supposed to had when it came to the shop originally. Could have just been carburetors. He said it had another issue. I don't know. So we'll see. Alright, compression gauge is hooked in, number 4. Let's see what we got. We ain't got nothing there. That ain't good. Let me open the throttle up. We ain't got nothing. Might have some stuck rings from it sitting. Let's try number 3. Very strange. That number 3 is going to be hard to get to. The way the cylinders, the spark plug holes, I mean, are made. I don't like the way these holes are made. Different angle. Can't get the stupid thing started. Weird angle. Number 4 went right on in there. Alright, oh, the fitting came off. Where did that go? This fitting came off. Stuck probably in number 4. I thought I had it on there tight enough. I gotta get it out of there. That's a 3/4 2 1 time. Oh man. Alright, it's time for cylinder 2. Well, that's actually cylinder 3. That one's got like 60 pounds. It'd be 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Well, that'd be probably 90 pounds. Let's see. Well, 70 pounds. So 3 got 70 pounds. 4 has nothing. So let's go to 2. Let's see what 2 has got.
compression gauge. Something's up with it. It's not working like it's supposed to. Either that, it ain't got no compression at all. Let's give this another shot here. Throttle open. Now this thing ain't got no compression. Could it be stuck valves, stuck rings? It's not good. Maybe that's why they brought it in. Maybe the motor's shot. Still can try and crank it though, just to see. Thought it was the compression gauge, but 2 gauges and throttle open. Makes no sense. I'm gonna hold the throttle. Then I got jack. And we put oil in the cylinders. So I'm just gonna put the plugs back in it. We'll try and get some gas to it. See, does it pop, spit, smoke? And I'll probably just hook a gas bottle to it for now, just to see what that does. And if it don't crank, this thing's just weak on compression. Maybe that's why they brought it in. Just rolled the crap out of it. I mean, it's got 1,500 miles, but we'll see. So I'm gonna go ahead stick the pluggers back in and get a gas set up. Alright, so I got a gas bottle hooked up. Let's pour some gas in it and let's just see what it'll do. Hopefully it'll hit off and run. Hopefully the carburetor's gonna start flooding all over the place. As I figured. Man, she spins over fast too. Like it's no compression. Choke cable stuck, so I can't turn the choke on. Carburetor leaking a little bit. Let's see, can I free this choke cable up? Choke. Carburetor still dripping. Not as bad though. Really good. Yes. Yeah, it's just pouring the gas out. Battery starting to go down. It almost hit. Probably need to let that starter cool off a little bit too. Don't want to burn the starter up. Give it one more shot. Open the window, listen. It almost hit. Almost. It almost hit. But the starter, I can feel the heat coming up from the starter. Let me give it a little bit more shot. Still got gas in it. Carburetors are probably just flooding. But it is trying to press. let that starter cool off. It did hit though, so it wants to run. I bet you the carburetors are just probably just dirty, need to be cleaned. They're leaking gas a little bit. But I know that starter's probably red hot. Yeah, she's kind of warm. It wants to run though. So what I'm probably gonna do is just the starter cool off a little bit, and we'll try it again. And I think we can probably get the crank. It hit off. I believe the rings are a little stuck in it too. That's why the compression is reading so low. It's just been sitting around and the rings are hung up. So let's just let it sit for a minute. So I let it sit and cool, and still the same thing. The carburetors are pouring gas out of them. I took the drain screw out of the one which is number 4. I pulled the drain screw out and no gas came out at all. Just got this little Allen screw here. So I'm going to have to go ahead and pull these carburetors off and go through them. I did see a little brown stuff on that drain screw. So I guess you pull these little covers off here, get to the air box. I guess you can probably slide it back. You got a vacuum line. The choke cable's already unhooked, which is stuck. The throttle cable, and we'll get them off. Now these are Ken carburetors, and they might be flat slide carburetors. I think they are. Most of the Ken carburetors are. So pretty good carburetors. Hopefully they're not too terrible bad. I think that's all it needs, is carburetor clean. It did hit off again, but it wouldn't just crank all the way up. So I'm gonna go ahead, slide this air box back, and get the carburetors off, get them up on the bench, and take the bows off and see what they look like. Alright, as you've seen, those carburetor boots are really, really hard. And these things didn't want to come out of there, but we got them out. And let's take a couple bowls off here, see what it looked like. I'll get the right screwdriver because I don't have it. I can't really say if these have ever been off before. Screws. Oh man, they're tight. I don't think they've been off before. First we gotta get the right bit. Those babies are tight. So they make like 5,000 different types of Phillip head bits. Just got to get the right one. That ain't it. Can't get a good bit. Can't believe it. All right. Let's try that one. Screws will not come out. I don't think they ever been into before. Hate to get the vice grips out right off the bat. But I tried every screwdriver bit I got. Might have to get a miniature impact driver or something. These screws are I think they're rusted in there. None of them won't come loose. So I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna get the bowls out first. I've had maybe one screw stuck, but all of them. Might have to. That won't even get them loose. I've tried 10 different Phillips heads, bits, and screws still won't come out. Ay, ay, ay. Might have to get some miniature vice grips. Well, let's see. I got some more. These are probably the same. Oh, wait a minute. Pull out my little bit rotator thing there. There we go. Let's see what size that is. That is, I don't know what size it is. I just know it works. Good. Hopefully I didn't strip the other ones out too bad. This should rotate. At least we can get one off. It ain't that bad in there. Got a little junk in the bowl, but needles ain't sticking. But that one, anyway, let's see, that was the one furthest to the right side of the bike. That's the one that didn't have any fuel coming out of the drain. That's because it's all gummed up. The rest of the carburetor looks pretty good. Those screws are super tight. One of them was leaking though. We're still gonna break them all down. Go through, check everything out. Ew, and that one right there, it don't look too hot. Look at that. Got some rust. And needle was not stuck, but trash floating around can hold that needle open. I knew before long we was gonna find one or two. If Mike can get by. doing a spray out. Those are 2 screws that stripped. Gotta use the right screwdrivers if you're gonna do this. Man, those are tight. Something about these here, super tight. I don't know if I can get. Guess I'll have to do it the old-fashioned way. We'll find some better screws to put in it. Now that screw over there because it's stripped. Ew, look at that one. This one's even worse. Look at that. That's probably the one that was leaking the most. Yeah, that needle is stuck. Down there is kind of hard to get. Get you a good flat punch, a little small hammer, catch it right on the sides. There we go. Those were tough. You know, these 5 we won't be using. Ew, that one's I guess because the bike maybe was sitting on the kickstand and all the gas shifted to that side, didn't let the stuff drain out. But yeah, I'm gonna have to tear these down, take all the jets out. I wish all of them looked like this one. Clean everything up. Hope the bowl gaskets don't leak. And get them back on there. So pretty sure if you guys are familiar with tearing down carburetors, you know what's got to come out. The needle. Some of them have removable seats. All the jets. I'm gonna try and do a spray through if I can, or I might just throw the whole thing off in the ultrasonic cleaner. Go ahead and take the flat sides out. Probably be the best thing to do. Usually with 4 carburetors, you want to make sure you get them right, because they're hard to get back out. So we'll probably just take all the flat slides out, take all the jets out. Ultrasonic cleaner don't hurt rubber, so we can just toss the whole thing in there. You want to make sure you put all your slides and stuff back in the right spot. Using the bowls, well, yeah, you got to make sure you put the bowls back on correct too. You even can take you a grease pen and write on there what goes where. But we're going to say, since the carbs are like that, the bowls are facing this way, we're going to do it like that. Matter of fact, I'm going to take a quick picture with all the bowls sitting by the carburetors. And that way I'll know what direction they were pointing in and the carburetors were pointing. Good thing about camera phones. Just think back in the day we didn't have camera phones. We didn't have the internet. So basically the only thing you had was a motorcycle manual. If you took it apart, you had to look in the manual, put it back together. And you had to have the manual unless you was just a real good mechanic. You can remember how to take it apart. Let's turn it this way. I'm just gonna go ahead and break them down, toss them off in the ultrasonic cleaner. There's a flat slide. So we're going to lay that like that. Other than that, these carbs don't look too bad. If you ever tear these apart from the racking and break them apart, then you're gonna have to sink them. You can get them out of sync real easy if you take them apart individually. And you have to make sure you know what carburetor goes in what spot. Because you take these bars off right here on both sides, and you can just pull each carburetor off separately. I've done it. You got a lot of O-rings in there, a lot of metal tubes. So you take them apart. I suggest you take some pictures, and sometimes you can get them back together and it don't knock them out of sync. And by sync I mean there's some screws right here on each butterfly. There's some Phillips head screws on each carburetor. And what you do, you take a vacuum gauge, and I believe you hook it to, on these you have each vacuum ports. You put the gauge on there and you adjust the screw on the butterfly. That gets the butterflies where they're all even. See how I'm opening them? Well, you want all of them to open at the same time. So those are your sync screws, those Phillips head screws right here. And as you adjust them in and out, you're adjusting the butterflies on each one. And if you get it out of sync, it won't idle right. If you get it too far out of sync, it won't run right at all. So for some strange reason my microphone stopped working, but I was basically talking about the carburetors here after I got them out of the ultrasonic cleaner, and that little small jet that I was telling you about. I think those are the idle jets. They wouldn't come out, but I took my little map gas bottle and kind of heated up each portion of the carburetor where those jets go down inside of there, and they came right out. And I just left that one out to show you that I got it out. And all the passages I cleaned out real good, so that was all good and working. Let's see, what else was I talking about? I went and got a screwdriver. Oh, so I tightened the jet up. The carburetors came out looking pretty good on the inside. What else was I talking about here? Okay, the air screw. You can see on the other carburetors where they're capped off, that little cap fell out, and you can see the air screw. That is your air mixture screws on each carburetor. And what it was, I was talking about how you can get that little cap out of there, and you can adjust the air screws. But on 4 carburetors, I really don't never mess with them. I leave them factory set. They're factory set like that, and they got them plugged off so you won't mess with them. But sometimes if you're changing exhaust pipes and stuff like that,
they want you to rejet the carburetors, and you might have to play around with the air screws. But the little cap fell out. I guess they didn't press it in there good enough, but you can take a small drill bit and drill a little hole in that little cap, and you can get that out, and you can adjust your air screws. What was that? That's the main jets. So the main jets, I think I was just showing about the main jets need to be cleaned up on the outside. The bowls of the carburetors, they came out looking pretty good. I was talking about the carburetor bowls, and the idle screw broke. I guess somebody cross-threaded it or something, and it just snapped right off when I took it out of the carburetor. On 4 carburetors, it's usually in the middle, and I had found one off of a Honda carburetor that had the long cable with the knob, so that threaded right back in there, and it actually is easier to reach, because usually you have to stick your hand all the way up under the carburetors to adjust the idle. But that's basically it I was talking about on the carburetors after I got them out of the ultrasonic cleaner, and cleaned them out with some little fine carburetor wire brushes that I had. So what else was I talking about? I think I was talking about the synchronizing screws too. I can't remember. Anyway, that was just, this portion of the video was just missing sound, so just to give you a little bit of insight of what I was talking about, because I didn't know the mic stopped working. So enjoy the rest of the video.
Alright, so the carburetors are all together. I kind of misplaced one of the screws to go on the slider cap, but we stuck one of the old ones that was stripped off in there. Great. But anyway, they're all together. I thought about hooking a gas bottle to it and just let it sit here on the table just to make sure the needles are not sticking or shutting off, because it sucks to get it back in the bike, hook up all the cables, and then turn the gas on and you got gas flowing out everywhere. So I might just do that. Probably just get my gas bottle, sit them straight up here on the table like that, let them sit there and fill up, and if we don't see anything flowing out of these overflow tubes, then we know that we're good to go and we'll get them on the bike. So I'm going to do that, test it that way, and we'll get them on. Okay, so we got the carburetors sitting in the bike. I don't have them plugged into the intake. Putting those cables on was a job. I ended up having to unhook the cables from the throttle handle to give me enough slack so I can hook them onto the carburetors and then hook the throttle handle back up. So what I'm going to do is just kind of heat these carburetor boots up with a heat gun. You can pick these up, Home Depot, Harbor Freight, Northern Tools. Just want to heat them up just a little bit because they were kind of hard to get the carbs out. These old rubber boots are just old. You have to be careful with them taking them out because you can rip the boots in half, which these has some little cracks in them up towards the flange where it goes onto the front of the cylinder head. And also you can spray like some lube or something in them, or put you some grease or something around the carburetors. That'll help them go in there too. You want to make sure those clamps are fully loose. See where they flop in there. Yeah, going. Make sure those clamps are that one's in. These things are a booger to get in there. I might need to heat them up some more. You could stick a bar and kind of push them in, but I don't want to really do it that way. It's almost like the outer ones. Oh, there's a clamp that's, well, those clamps have got to be all the way loose. The looser you get them, The easier they'll go in there. Got me all out of breath and stuff. Should have sprayed a little PB blaster on it. Man, I'm gonna have to heat them up some more. I was gonna hook a gas bottle to them on the table and check the floats, but then I thought about it while I was trying to put the cables in. I had to move the carburetors around a lot. I've been spilling gas everywhere, so we'll just leave the air box unhooked for right now. That way, if we gotta yank them back off. See where they go in there now. Oh gosh. Those suckers are tight. They're going though. Well, this even popped out. They do not want to go back in there. Let me get some PB blaster. It's definitely gonna need some intake boots. I think I got it. Whew. Those were quite a job. I think they need to go in just a smidget more on that side. No, they ain't. All right. Tighten the hose clamps up. Get the gas bottle on it. And hopefully this thing will crank up and run like it's supposed to. As tight as these boots is, you don't even need to tighten the clamps. I don't think they're gonna come up out in there. Choke cables froze. I need to try and free that up too. Definitely gonna need some intake boots. I think if I had to pull the carburetors back out, they might split. They kind of dry rotted really bad. throttle's hooked up. Hook our crankcase breather back up, even though the airbox is not connected. And the choke cable is stuck. Might try and free that up before we crank it. So let me work on that choke cable, get everything set back up, and we'll try and crank it up again. Alright, so the gas tank, well, our temporary gas tank hooked up. I couldn't get the choke cable unstuck. It was just froze. So I sprayed some PB at it. Maybe it unstick, so I'm gonna have to operate the choke down here on the carburetors. So let's turn the gas on and pray that we don't have any leaks. And so far, I don't see anything leaking. Oh, spoke too soon. One carburetor right here. Well, I guess we're good. You're unstuck. So, let me get the boost pack. Turn the gas back off for a minute. I think I didn't ever charge the battery back up. Hopefully. Let me turn the gas off. I don't see anything flooding out. Let me zip tie this choke. I mean, not the choke, the clutch. Fired. Oh, come on, battery. I should have charged the battery up. Hope it ain't the starter. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go get my bigger jumper box. It cranked, but it shut right back off. I'm gonna have to put this one on charge. So I'm going to run out there and get it. And put that on there. Be right back. All right. Maybe this will do it. If not, I'm gonna have to charge the battery up. I should have done that, but forgot all about it. I thought it was going to keep running. Choke off. But the motor sounds good. Hey, at least it runs. Need to get some ventilation going on. Woo! Right, Rich. Can I get it cranked back up here? Almost. running. It just don't want to take the throttle unless I turn the choke on. What I'm gonna have to do is hook the air box back up, maybe put a filter in it. That might help those carburetors a little bit, but you don't want to take no throttle at all. Like I said, I think I'm going to have to hook the air box back up and maybe put a filter in it. That might help it out. But when you turn the choke on, it wants to take the full throttle. But once you turn the choke off, it'll just sit here and idle. It just bogs out. So carburetors are still kind of iffy on it, even though I went through and cleaned them. But a lot of times when those carburetors get that white chalky stuff inside of them, it ain't no getting it out. I mean, but I'm gonna try and hook the air box up and make a filter. We'll crank it back up, see how it runs. But so far the engine sounds good. Charging system's working because I got the jumper pack off. The RPM gauge don't work though. But let me see what I can do about this air box. So I hooked the air box up and made a filter for it. And check this out. adjusting on them, but it revs up there. Man, that sucker sounds good. She sounds nice and crispy. So, making the air filter for the air box and hooking all that back up helped it out. Helped it out a lot. Like I say, it's still kind of a little fluttery, but I think once we get it out and ride it, that'll probably clear out, or we might have to do some adjusting on the air screws. I don't think so. I don't know. Well, it don't look like they jetted the carburetor, the carburetors for the pipe. Normally people just slap a pipe on there and ride out, but sometimes you have to jet those carburetors for certain exhaust systems. But it's not smoking. I mean, it sounds good. The question is now, will it take off and ride, like the gearing and all that? I guess we can check the gearbox. I still got to fix the gas tank, but I guess we can crank it up and check the gearbox while it's sitting here, and we'll know if it goes in gear and everything. So let's see. See what it does. We put it in gear. Huh. I wonder if this has got a center stand switch. I bet it does. I don't see a neutral light. Boy, that feels gritty. The clutch could be stuck on it too. I don't think it's got it. Understand. Should have went right in gear, huh? Could that been what the problem was? Put it in gear, it shuts off. Don't have a center stand switch unless the clutch is stuck. I wonder if we put it in gear. It's got to have some kind of safety. Which is weird. That's the side stand switches. It's probably what it is. The side stand switch is not making all the way. Find something to put in between it. cardboard. That's probably what it is. I bet you that side stand switch, it wasn't making when you put the kickstand up. I mean, the kickstand's got a lot of play in it. I'm gonna have to probably bypass that kickstand switch because I just got that piece of cardboard holding it. If I take that out, it won't let it crank because it's thinking that the kickstand is down, and that's a safety feature. So either disconnect it, bypass it, or probably just bypass it. You see, it's got a lot of play in it. It's not, if you look at that switch, it's not pushing it, especially if I take the cardboard out. It's not pushing it all the way, see that? But if I lean it out, pull it out, so we'll probably just do away with that. The chain, all the O-rings are coming out, so we need to lube that chain. But we know it goes in gear. We know it's charging. There's no smoke. The engine sounds strong. So the next thing is the gas tank. You get the gas tank clean. Get the petcock on it working. Put the plastics back on. Take this thing out for a test run. So I'm gonna shut it down tonight, and I will get back on it tomorrow. So I took this thing out after putting all the plastics back on, made a couple blocks with it, and it just shut down on me. I don't know if I got a fuel delivery issue or I got a spark issue, but I came back to get my helmet, and on the way back I had to push it back here. So now you don't want to run. Shuts off. So either I got a carburetor issue or I got a firing issue. But as of right now, I'm just gonna take a break from it and pull the plugs after that break and check to see if the plugs are good. Might have a firing issue, but it was running pretty good, and like I said, when I got
just shut down on me. I had to push it back here, and I let it sit, and you see how it cranks up, but it's bogging real bad. So we'll just let it sit. I'm gonna let it cool off because it's extremely hot because I've been trying to crank it. And like I said, I'll pull those plugs out, check those, and it ran so good last night though. I mean, I thought it was gonna be good to go, but I made a couple blocks and it fell on his face. So we'll just let it sit for now, and I might start doing some checking later on it. If not, might just find somebody that wants it. I believe that's the reason why I ended up in the motorcycle shop anyway, because it had some running issues, or it could have been that kickstand switch, because as you've seen, when you put it in gear, it would shut off because the switch wasn't making. But I got it bypassed. I just took the wires and tied them together. But I might try messing with it some more. If I can't get it running right, like I say, I'll just find somebody who might want to buy it for parts or something like that. It don't have a title to it, so I didn't want to stick too much money in it with it not having a title. If it would have ran good and kept running good, well, it ran good. If it would have kept running good like it was when we first cranked it, then I would have moved forward with getting the paperwork straight. But like I say, it's an older bike. I don't want to dump a whole lot of money in it. But when it was running, it felt like it had good power. So anyway, if you don't see it again, that means I got rid of it, or I pushed it out in the weeds. Or if you see it again, you'll probably see it running way better, and we'll finally get to take it out on a good test run. And so I hope y'all enjoyed it anyway. Y'all like, share, subscribe, hit that like button. That's the most important part. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe now. And like I say, if you want to share it, share it. If not, just hit the like button. Alright, so I am going to put it up for now. We'll get back to it later. See y'all.